price to give a lower value to help the veteran out. Like, you do realize you're not helping us when you appraise under the value of the purchase price.
Yeah, that's not, well,
Like,
it's not
just
only,
because you think you're helping by giving them a lower value.
it's not only that, it doesn't matter if it's VA, FHA, conventional, it doesn't really matter. They should be just giving us I think the biggest mistake is that them knowing the sales price and everything else.
That's right.
I think that's the biggest mistake. I don't think they should get a copy of the contract.
Yeah, me
If it's supposed to be unbiased or whatever the case is, because they're human, they should have a copy of the contract.
Yeah, at the very least, I mean, at the most, they should get a copy of the MLS, so what was price at, you can compare all that stuff, and decide.
And maybe what kind of financing it is, so that way they know what to inspect. Cause FHA, they have to inspect certain things, if VA, they have to inspect
Maybe
certain
the rules
things.
should apply to
I think it's
should be the same rules for everybody.
maybe it's good.
You know, I had one, we had to do a whole rebuttal and field review, and then, second,
I don't think they should.
partial appraisal, and that first one came back low, and it was a real shoddy job. So by the time we did a field review or rebuttal, and we got somebody else to go out there, it comes back exactly at our purchase price. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, so
You got tired of us complaining and
gave it
challenging,
to us.
and you just gave us the exact value.
No, but you see what happens, if they put it too much higher, then it looks really bad. It already looks bad, this one looks really bad, you know.
I'm just gonna raise my hand when people
Like I said,
comment.
the whole thing is this,
on
I don't think
Facebook.
they get a copy of the contract.
Yeah.
If you're really gonna do an
So it'll be
estimate on
neat.
a house, who cares what they're selling it for? It doesn't matter. Who cares
We got
what the
a TV
contract
back here?
is for? It
Like,
doesn't matter.
I had also.
So-
Go give me the valuation of the house.
that we could have on
I had a buyer
Facebook,
in
So
VA,
so the presenter can see what Facebook is.
And it shouldn't.
Like comments?
Yeah, just so,
You might not be able to read it. It'd have to be big TV.
It's something that
They want the same thing, but.
wouldn't need a co-host.
Yeah. But what TV production doesn't have a co-host?
It's true.
Just saying.
I like you to co-host, but
I mean, I'll gladly
Great.
step away and let you do
nope.
I do wish you could find out what a home appraised for though.
What happened to our clock?
Not one that
I don't
you're
know, it
buying,
turned
but
off.
like some like.
You turned it off?
No.
Comp
Oh.
in the neighborhood or something.
I saw it was on.
Like a report?
But I think it
Yeah,
just
what
came
did it
unplugged a little
actually-
Like
bit.
making those reports public.
What's today's date?
Is it already live?
Yeah.
Cause I had a
4
friend
people.
who was trying to,
5 people.
I tried to tell him to steer away from this house.
o'clock.
A 600
Alright, it's 8 o'clock, we're gonna get started. I'm gonna back this up a bit. I feel
Okay.
cramped up here.
1200. Ended up selling for
Who is
$5.
online?
We have Riyadh, Charles Morris, Danielle Lovett, and me.
Sweet. And Johnny and Debbie and Ed and Patrick.
Sir.
You guys online, I hope you're having a good breakfast, because we are. Thanks, Patrick, breakfast.
You're welcome.
Patrick with Reuben Mortgage. All right, team. What's the chatter this morning? I threw it out on Facebook. Go ahead.
Mandy had posted something.
I was gonna
on
say, I'm
Facebook.
gonna read hers.
Yeah, she says, engaging with video with your database, and it's kind of like a script of how to get your goals, how to address them with your goals.
Influential
There you go.
touch marketing.
I love that. Doing one today.
All right. Video, she said.
I recorded one 2 days ago, actually.
To sphere about goals for the rest of the year and why that's important to me. I did my app download competition script for my sphere, it works. Now I need a good one this year to hit my goals for the rest of the year. I have no clue what it actually looks like. So not only doing a digital touch, it's also going, let's put your goals out there. So that's fun. Terry Matthews said listing objections, which we can touch on here, and I would recommend anybody who wants to hone in there, go to the listing panel on Friday at 1 o'clock. We have 2 amazing listers. One is Chris Bissett with the Pinnacle Real Estate Team, and they do about 15 listings a month. And he and his partner, the majority of that. The other one is Mark Ramey with the, I don't know what his team name, but Mark Ramey Real Estate. And he does about 6 listings a month. So you can have 2 people up here Friday at 1 o'clock and collectively do about 18 to 20 listings per month. that's where I'd love to come back, and let's ask the experts, not me, on listing objections. Also tomorrow we have buyers panel, so you can hone in on the buyers consult and objections. So I think the panels are very well received. So we'll touch on that. What else? What else? I saw a neat video and it taught me some things, so I trust it'll teach you guys some things as well. So let's do a quick Kelly play around, can we?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're at home, pull out Kelly. If you don't know what Kelly is, join Keller Williams and we'll tell you. Like that? Okay. So if you go to Kelly, the microphone's at the bottom. I know everyone here has it, so that's sweet. What I didn't know you could do was update your CGI calculator. So if you could say, show me my CGI goals.
Show me my CGI goals.
Did that show up?
It showed up.
Okay. Did that show up for everybody?
Well, I'm trying to get into it.
CGI.
I'm surprised she recognized my voice so quick.
This is still
You
trying
can now
to-
say, "Hey Kelly," by the way.
Oh, you can? Yeah, I'll
You might
put
have to
that-
change the setting.
Okay. So once you get CGI going, then you can actually edit it, and I'm stuck in a database thing, so I can't get out of it right now. Maybe if I cancel her off. then
Can I edit it right on here?
Mm-hmm.
You'll
That-
wait till you.
That's
talk.
what I learned this morning.
Okay.
Show me my CGI goals. And CGI is Career Growth Initiative. So if you go to View Inputs from that in the top right
Top right,
of that of her answer,
the little square.
actually the words View Inputs.
Oh, got it. Thank you.
Okay.
Got it?
Works when you just type it into.
You just type, you don't have to talk. And then from there, this is everything that you've inputted to give you your goals. And you can in the top right push edit, and you can edit your goals right there. Top right would be view goals, and the next top right would be edit.
Ooh, what I want to edit is that I have been on listing.
So we'll talk about that next. So
Okay.
Tabitha, did you know you could update calculator from here?
I did.
You did, okay.
To track appointments.
I knew you could track appointments, but we can actually change the content here as
Oh,
well.
I didn't know that.
Where you used to have to go into CGI calculator, you can do now right here.
Oh, that
You
is
just go-
cool.
You just go to view input and then edit, and so we can change our profit goal, our taxes, our split, everything.
Cool.
All right there. So now once you get it, you go back to the main screen. Is this on the camera there?
Yeah,
Okay.
small, but it's there.
And you can just say, add appointment.
Add appointment.
Then it says, how many appointments?
Oh,
And you say 1. And it says, congratulations, and it moves your appointment tracker calculator up. Cool, right? So that was one thing I learned this morning. Another one, what is our business? So like, I'll give you a hint. Thursday mornings at 9 o'clock. What's our business? The database. What's that?
Oh, lead generation.
lead gen.
That's what I'm doing.
That
Calling
builds the
people.
business.
That's the answer to everything.
So you
Right.
you just met Steve Smith, right? And so, what's up, Ted? So you can go add Steve Smith to database.
You want us to say that?
I'm showing you can now add people right to your eEdge database right through here,
Better get coffee.
just by saying add them. Now it added someone named Steve Smith, but then nothing else was there. And you can enter contact details, and that's where you can add the phone number, email address, and everything. So the other thing with this then, you could say, add Steve Smith to open house groups. I don't have an open house group in my eEdge, so it says, the open house group does not exist, would you like to create it? So if you have the group, it'll automatically add them to it, and then you can have that campaign automatically going. So if you have the open house group on an 8x8 buyer campaign, you can go click, 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 and now you've got Steve Smith in that campaign. So that was pretty cool. And then thirdly is what I saw would be show me Gary Keller's latest videos. And so if you look on there, anything that he uploads to KW Connect, you can ask to look at their latest videos. So there's just 3 tips I saw that were going.
Check to see if there's an update in your app store.
Can we have our admin have the app and?
Just give them your login.
Yep, they're just logging into you. Yep.
Do we have to type all that in?
Yep, now you can just literally speak it all in.
Yeah.
Kelly will type it in.
And the login is the same as,
Be my KW.
because I've been logging with my finger, but now I want to take it.
Yeah, it wouldn't take my, it wouldn't take my
So
ear.
yesterday, they had a whole reset. They must have had a security breach. So, yeah, mine, I had
Yeah, change my
to type it in
password.
now, so we gotta figure out the finger thing, but we'll get there.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, so that was just some things I saw in my morning YouTube travels this morning. We're gonna touch on this. Thank you, Mandy, for that.
Thanks.
This specifically around your goals, right?
Yeah.
I think that what would be important would be what is your goals? And so when we think about your goals, you start with the why. It's a heart because it's near and dear, right? That's why we did that. Then you figure out how. Then you figure out what. And this is a glimpse of business planning. It'll come up in a couple of months. If we start from the outside in, there's really not a whole lot of substance. Like, what do I want to do by the end of the year? And when people start with what do I want to do, how will I do it, and then why is the third thing, it's not as powerful. It's like, why would be, and it's not always a why question, but what would I like to accomplish by the end of the year? So why is it important to me? Cool, how can I accomplish that? And then we go what? So I guess as we do it, if we are now in August through December, is how many months left? 5? 4.5?
Yeah, 4.5.
Let's go with 4 months left because we cannot go create an August closing today, probably. We can occasionally with a cash buyer, right? But most of the time, if we go into contract today, it will not be an August closing. You guys agree?
Yeah.
So we have 4 months to figure out what does the home stretch look like. Now, regardless what the first 8 months were, this can be whatever we choose it to be. And so, are you guys crystal clear with what your 4-month goal is? What is it?
It's 8 for me.
8, so 2 a month. So that's what you're going to do. Who else has a crystal clear end of year goal?
I know what you told me.
Yeah,
And that was 15.
how am I gonna achieve it? I don't know.
15.
Yeah, I was
Well,
clear.
he told me how he was gonna achieve it too.
So we figured out the what and the how.
Yeah.
We have to make sure it's attached to a why. Because the why is the gas to the vehicle. Without the gas, I don't care if you know exactly where you're gonna go, your car ain't going, right?
Right?
What was the number I told you apparently?
Well, I'm supposed to do 10 in 90 days, right?
10 listings, 90 days. What will that actually yield you in closings though? For the next 4 months?
In what volume or like just volume?
You want to tell your world, this is my goal and this is why it's important to me. We've got to get crystal clear of what is your goal and why it's important to you.
I guess I don't have that.
Okay, so we're going to work on that. Angie, what's yours? So 15
Yes.
on the All-Star group. Closings.
Yes, sir.
Get the bus.
I am so sorry, I'm just trying to log in.
What about you, Steph?
For the year.
End of year, 4 months left. Pretend this is a 4-month year, and this is January 1st. It's a 4-month year. Whatever has happened, forget about it. September, October, November, December.
Reasonably speaking, I'd be
Maybe?
happy with 12,
Okay,
real happy.
yeah, that'd be 3 a month. I'm gonna go 6. Ted?
I would love 8.
I'd love 100. Patrick?
20.
Okay, so this is over 4 months. Are we gonna play seasonality game? We're gonna crank it and say every month is created equal.
Everyone's
Yeah.
equal.
There's no tomorrow.
What's that?
That's my video.
That's the video. All right, so if we were to just do this, then we can just move per month. We'll just move here to 2. 4 divided by this is gonna be about 4, about 4, about 2, 3. We're gonna round up again because you can't do 1.5, so 2,
Go for it.
2, and 5.
Bring on the 8.
You follow?
Yep.
So what do we have to do in closings? It's right there. You guys know what number is yours, right? Morning, Nikki.
Hi, sorry.
And then if we want to do this and close, what do we have to do in pending? Probably just add 1. Your fallout rate's not that high, right?
No.
And so even if we can just go crank out and focus on those pendings, then I think we're going to be pretty close to it. So how do you do this? So let me ask you this, rapid fire. Are you doing 2 a month?
Right now, I'm averaging it at 2 a month.
Are you doing 4 a month?
No.
4 a month. Who's my other 8? Are you doing 2 a month?
No.
Are you doing 3 a month? 6. Who's my 6? Are you doing 2 a month? Are you doing 2 a month?
We're close.
Are you doing 5 a month?
Over the last 3 months.
So this is kind of your own of going, if you're doing it, cool, keep on going. Way to go, finish strong. If you're not, how or what's gonna change? There's 2 things that are gonna get you to close a deal. Your effort or your skill. Right? Is there a third?
Prayer.
Yeah, lots of that.
What did she say?
Prayer.
Is your halo?
There you go. Over the effort.
So if you're not hitting it, is it a lack of effort or lack of skill?
Effort.
Effort.
Okay.
Effort wins talent, beats talent when talent doesn't show.
So all you gotta actually do is work harder. Do more of whatever you're not doing, which goes back to what you said of, but specifically like, what? Like, how will you do this?
Mindset and will from online.
You have to will yourself to do it. You have to, the mindset is I commit to it. Do you believe that this can happen?
Yes.
If you know what works, you're just doing more. You're doing more of things that have a lower grade.
That keeps your conversion. If you're used to hitting 3 out of 4, you gotta keep doing what gets you 3 out of 4, right? If your entire world is saying, I am a lead receiving sphere of influence, lovey-dovey. You can't just go meet a bunch of strangers and expect to get the same results.
Right.
Because it takes years to go build that up, right? So then you might have to say, I've gotta go do open houses, door knocking, FSBOs, expires. My conversion rate's gonna go from 10% to 1%. We've gotta equate that in there. So if we were to think of a 1-3-5, this is a 1-page business plan. You heard of it? You just told me what your 1 goal was, which is here. We want 3 priorities of how we're going to do that. I want you to think of sources, not activities. You guys know the difference in a source and activity. All right? So what are some priorities that you could do that will help you get to 8, 15, 20?
Door knocking.
That would be activity, right?
Right.
So door knocking is more of an activity. So let's decipher the difference of a source of business.
Source is like your database.
Your farm.
Database, farm.
Okay.
What else?
Strangers.
That would probably be building database.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Social media.
Open houses.
And I could maybe even make this a little over here. I know I'd do this right here.
Really?
Oh, you would? Expired,
Sphere.
or sell by others.
Sphere goes right here. Expired,
Referrals.
FSBO, agent to agent referral. Follow?
Okay.
What is OH?
Open house.
That's also activity.
That's what I
And
thought.
the reason that said,
Just kidding.
what's that? Ed?
He thought it was
Open
an
house
activity
is
too.
also activity.
Here's where I'll argue that, and this is open for debate. I didn't read this, I just deciphered it.
I agree with you, Rick Bosley.
You do, thank you.
Yeah, I see where you're going, so.
Here's why.
Yeah,
Activities are what we actually will do around the,
With the
around the
source.
something.
Oh, so follow up on an open house would be an activity.
Could we door knock a farm?
Yes.
yes.
Could we door knock an open house?
Yes.
Yes.
Could we door knock expires?
Yes.
Could we door knock FSBOs?
Yes.
Could we door knock or
Your database.
agent knock your
Don't knock your
database?
database, that's Popeyes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or could we do agent to agent?
Yeah.
So that's an activity to
Around the
fund the
source.
source.
Yep, I get it.
Could we direct mail
Yeah.
all of these?
Yeah.
Could we cold call all of these? I guess not a database, but yeah, I imagine some of your database is pretty cold.
Well, if you talk
Yeah.
to your
Database.
database,
It's
you're
true.
cold calling their referrals, so yeah.
Yeah.
Just calling.
You're cold calling out of the blue, it's kind of cold, it's not,
Right.
they weren't expecting your phone call, this is part of that, stay in touch. It's a lukewarm, it's not a hot lead, but it's not a lead either, so it still is a cold call.
It's a contact.
Right? So, and then this is where I might argue social media, because could use social media around all of these things as well.
Yeah,
Yes.
So it's almost like specifically, what is social media gonna do for you?
Well, you can message people on social media.
Yeah,
that's
You could target them.
It sounds like a farm.
But
Or
you can
database.
Or
advertise
database.
your open house, you can.
Sounds like an activity for an open
set
house.
some activity for an open
Sounds like you're
house.
boosting a listing, sounds like you are, so I could see if like, if your jam is social media, it's probably an activity. Cause most people, if you were to look at their 135, they would have something, who loves door knocking?
I do like.
Okay. I imagine you would be tempted or have put door knocking over here. What's one of the ways you're gonna get it? By knocking on doors. But you should really be, whatever your thing is, you should be doing digital mail, cold calls, door knocking, for everything. And so it's like, ooh, I hate, anyone ever heard the affirmation of I don't do FSBOs expireds?
I've heard I don't do for everything.
But when I hear the people, because what do we typically associate the activity around these?
phone calls.
We associate this. So what I'm really hearing is I don't like cold calling. Right? Because if someone said, hey, my neighbor just did a FSBO, they asked me if I knew a great realtor, and I said yes, they're expecting your phone call. Would you be like, oh, I don't do FSBOs.
Oh, no, no, you're
Right?
Exactly right.
So we don't not do FSBOs, we don't do cold calling.
And how is that different from somebody paying for, and, because it bothers me, paying for a lead of somebody that doesn't wanna call anyway, but will spend $1,000 and jump all over every time one of those leads show up in their inbox?
Yeah,
They're
they do
doing
that.
the exact same thing, they're just paying through the nose for it.
Right.
The idea is that would be a warm lead. because
Yeah.
they're
What's warmer than an
supposed to be
expired or a
interested.
for sale by owner?
Well, they're hostile, they're angry.
That's,
I'm not talking
yeah.
for me, I'm talking, that's the response. They're angry, they're hostile.
I mean, the fundamental difference, I think, would be whoever gave you that lead and that you're paying for, they submitted something.
Right. They've already.
So it's almost like they're equivalent to me like an open house walk-in. Like they walked in your open house,
Right.
it's hunting season.
They warmed up the recipient of
If
your-
an expired called you or said, I need a CMA, that would be this equivalent. I love your point because the conversion rates are probably the same.
or if
The
not-
hostility is probably the same. The callback rate's probably the
Well, and
same.
it is the same, and I wouldn't do that either. I mean, I've never bought.
Here's a business concept. Why don't we go find all the FSBOs and expired, blah, blah, blah,
Oh.
collect them,
Right.
and I'll sell them to you at $1,000 a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
It's the
Zillow?
concept, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here's a hot lead. They just listed the house for sale. They need an agent. Sweet. It's a FSBO, and I just went and took a picture of the phone number. But it's the same. So I think this is what's important with priorities. We say get comfortable being uncomfortable. If you're not doing this, do we agree something has to change?
Yes.
And I imagine it's something over here that you're not doing because you don't like it. Right?
you can do more of what you do.
If it's paying off.
Yes.
How's it working out for you? So the comment was you can do more of what you do like, but at the end of the day, the business should have this. And so if you don't do it, you should be able to have enough money to pay someone else to do it. Because if you just don't, you're not maximizing this. And if you don't maximize this because you're only doing 60% of this, then you have to make it up over here. So yeah, if you want to go, so you know what? My database, I'm not going to do pop buys. I'm not going to do face-to-face events. I'm not going to do handwritten notes. I'm just going to call them maybe once or twice a year. Cool, then you're not going to get 10%. So we have to increase those efforts.
Live is a little delayed, but Robin Bartlett said social media, look for warm leads, got a job, promotion, having a baby, empty nesters, not necessarily right now business. It's called your land voice.
So for social media, yeah, you could kind of look for key life events that happen, and then you still have to cold call or cold message them, don't you?
Right.
It's still database awareness. Just social media, you can snoop on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's the same activity in a different form.
here's the thing about social media that I don't think any of us do at the level we could. And this is from Tony Giordano when he talked about what we have at our fingertips. Imagine if you knocked on a door, but before you knocked, you knew their name, their spouse's name, their favorite football team, the friends that you have in common with each other, what job they have,
Where they went on vacation.
where they went on vacation, and what birthday they just celebrated. And you're like, oh, cool. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, so it turns out you and Debbie were all friends. Right, that's what social media does.
Yeah.
Literally, someone says, here's the intel you need on me. Right, what used to take your government, the government trained professionals months to do, a 9-year-old can do in about 10 minutes now because of social media, right? So we have access to it, so are you using it? So here could be a question of, when you meet someone at a farm, or you meet someone at an open house, are you going, let's be friends, let's be FBO, right? Because if we're not, we're kind of going, I don't want the card, I don't want your info, I don't need that intel. Because if you find out, they'd be like, you know what, find a way to say, like me on my Facebook page, or you know what, I found you, is this you, cool, accept my friendship. They'll probably do it because it's awkward if they don't. And once they do, now you can start doing some social media target marketing. That make sense? A lot of what you've done has been through social media. Most of your downloads were private message social media. And then how many referrals have you gotten through social media? If you were to think percentage-wise.
I can't give you a number. I get asked even real estate, like people that are out of state, or people that are interested in real estate that want to get into school, and I've connected people with different market centers, and they're getting their licenses. I mean, it's not just getting an actual referral, it's getting people in
Yeah.
like downline.
I mean, I just received a referral from my high school friend in Texas via social media. And I didn't reach out to her, shame on me, yet I was still in her feed, so she knew what I was doing. And I felt really embarrassed about it because when I filled out the referral form and I sent it to Wendy Papazan, she goes, great, what's her email and her phone number? It's like, I don't know, I just Facebook Messenger. I don't have any of that stuff. So I connected them via Facebook Messenger and she took care of it. I was like, I didn't even have them remotely in my database or my phone because it's been 20 years.
That's a sign of the times.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that, I'm like that. I have a lot of people that aren't in my Facebook, or that aren't in my phone, that are on Facebook.
How do we do that?
How
do we get them here and here and here? And that's through asking those questions. So this can be a lot of your priorities of what are you going to exactly do to hit this. The database should be with everybody. Some of these are slow cookers, some of these are flash fries. Is a farm a slow cook or a flash fry?
Slow.
Is open house a slow cook or a flash fry?
It's a slow bake.
I think it's flash fry.
I do. Yeah, it can be.
The only time what you're talking about is you meet someone at an open house, put them in your database. But if someone walks to an open house, the flash fry is going, I'm looking for a reason. I'm looking because I'm looking to do something in the next 90 days.
Possibly.
Right? If not, I'm curious and I'm 3 to 12 months out,
Lots of that.
but I will stay in your database and receive your information.
Yeah, that's the slow bake.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
database is a slow bake. The open house, there's no reason everyone here shouldn't be able to do an open house, make an appointment with a buyer. Because there's A buyers this weekend who will meet their realtor for the first time at an open house and be under contract before next week. You guys agree with that?
Yeah.
So there's like, what are you doing to be that person? Expires Fizbo, slow cook or flash fry?
Flash fire.
Flash fry. So realistically, if I'm going, if my business depended on this, am I gonna go start a farm today?
No.
Well, start it.
If
Let's
my
go do
business
this.
depended on this,
Okay, that's what you're saying, okay.
I would put every waking effort and moment. I'm not saying to do it, but we've got to think conceptually of, are you a giant slow cooker and everything you do is a slow cooker? Then it's okay if I have a pot roast right now and I'm cooking it for 12 hours, but for 6 hours during the middle of it, I turn it off. Then I go turn it back on again, as do I have a finished meat. If every 2 hours I turn it off and then every 2 hours we turn it on, it still cooks for 12 hours, but it took 24 hours to do it. Do I still have cooked meat? Not very good, right? So this is the slow cook stuff has to have constant heat
Right.
with it. So once you get your priorities, let's say it is expires, Fizbo, and open house. Can we kind of combine these together, right? What's the 5 stand for?
What you're gonna do to support each of those.
You've already got them.
Yeah.
Like we actually just did your 1, 3, 5,
Yeah, the
4.
support is, the source is the 3, the 5 is the activity.
And so if it's say open house, it's gonna be a minimum of how many door knocks you're going to do, and I'm gonna hold an open house every week that'll be accompanied by 100 door knocks. That's a good strategy to maximize your door knock. I'm going to cold call everyone who's been ever in my database who I've met at an open house or inquired for a buyer, and every weekend invite them to my open house. Because they're either going to come or stop picking up the phone. Either way, they know about it, and you are coming top of mind. So a strategy would be to do that. Because right now, a lot of people do an open house, and they think this is the activity. This is the conversation around the activity.
Right.
Right? That's kind of the hard thing for people are going, I don't know what to say. Cool, go to an open house and you have something to say. Open house, there's 3 hours of the open house is kind of like, let me see what will sow for my reaping. Now I'm here. My cold call's been done, my door knock's been done, my social media's been done, I invited my database has been done, I put out a great boosting campaign, it's been done, I put out absentee, it's done, now I wait. Come on, benefit. Right? And so if you're not putting out the signs and calling and door knocking and canvassing and social media and calling and inviting your database, it's no wonder 3 and 4 people are showing up to your open house. Because you're relying on one thing called a sign. And they saw one of your 6 signs. Right? What's that?
It's like I'm more than 6.
Gotta have more
Good.
than 6.
And I'm hearing a lot of people who don't.
Yeah, you have.
I put out about 40.
40.
That's impressive.
So here becomes a strategy of going a minimum of, because how long does it take you to put 40 signs out?
Half an hour.
I was gonna say.
Half an hour.
Say that.
So maybe he's cranking. Can some people be a little slower? Maybe,
Absolutely.
Maybe an hour?
Well, yeah, because girls, we don't want to get sweaty.
Well,
I mean, guys can change the
So,
shirts.
so,
and
so
it's fine.
what I do is I go in a t-shirt, and I did 2 open houses, one Saturday and one Sunday. Both had, I maxed out all my signs. I put them all out. I had like 43 signs, so they were all out.
Wow.
And it took me a half an hour more on both times.
Okay. So let's say
Hustling.
let's say an hour. I got you. Second. Let's say it's an hour. Who puts 10-ish signs out?
Well, right.
Sorry,
Well,
what was
10,
that?
10-ish?
It kind of depends on where it's at.
Yeah, there's a video.
I mean, if it's main road turn and that's the street,
We're back.
you don't, do you need more than 10? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
Well, you can either be directional or you can
Well,
be
I'm going to
driving.
ask you,
So are you driving?
how much
traffic
do you
or are
want
being
here
directional?
versus how much do you want here? Do you need more than 10? Depends what kind of results you want.
No less than 15.
yeah.
See, he might say no less than 40.
I was gonna say, I'm usually 15 to 20.
So how long does it take you to do 15?
maybe 20 to 30 minutes.
So take an extra 20 to 30 minutes, and you literally doubled your activity. And this was a rule of thumb I had. I know open houses are different now because of the digital age than it was in 2010, which was still digital. I found a 2-to-1 ratio.
Yeah.
If I put out 10, I'm getting 5 walk-ins. If I put out 40, I'm getting 20 walk-ins.
Yeah.
What's an average walk-in rate for you?
Right now, I'm averaging 9.
9. So, all right, so he's now at a 25%. So what's an average walk-in rate for if you do 20 signs?
Probably 5 to 7.
So there we go. We're finding a new ratio of
Yeah.
3-to-1, 4-to-1.
Yeah, I can support that.
So if one of your strategies is I need 12 people to walk through my open house every week, because I know that 8% of people find their realtor via open house, 8% is 1 out of 12. So the strategy now says, if I am at a, let's be conservative and say a 3-to-1 ratio of signs to walk-ins, how many signs do I need off this 12?
36.
It's going to increase that odds. And then if I want to increase it anymore, I'm going to door knock and invite the neighbors. If a neighbor walks in from your door knock invitation, what are they telling you?
I'm curious.
Curious about what the market in the neighborhood's done. Like, that's a great listing nurture, right?
Yeah.
You had a Facebook?
Yes, so Robin said an open house tip is door knocking VIP event 1 hour before the neighborhood. Cynthia puts out a minimum of 8 to 10. Eleonora puts 20 signs minimum. Another tip for open houses is tie in a charity event to your open houses. Let people bring a donation to the open house. Talk about it as you're marketing to the open house. Even if people aren't looking for the house, they may come for the charity piece and gets them in the door for a conversation.
Okay, so I'll repeat some of that right now would be VIPs. As you're door knocking the neighborhood and as you're calling your database, you say, I'm holding an open house this weekend from 11 to 3 and VIP showing from 10 to 11. So if you want to have first glimpse before the masses come in, come see me 10 to 11. That's one of those VIPs. And then the charity will be they're coming to support the charity, not necessarily the open house. Turns more into probably a database touch than an open house lead, and that's okay.
They could know.
Because one of the goals on our 33 touch is to have how many face-to-faces? 4? At least 3.
So another one that I heard that's sort of like the charity one, but it's more to get neighbors in, is you bring a subject matter expert in for the first hour of the open house.
Cool.
So they have to get there early. So if it's a landscape architect, you know, around tax time, you bring a CPA, a decorator could be there for the first hour. And it really helps driving the door knocking, but I guess you'd send out to your database too, for the first hour, and then they usually give a giveaway of something of their services. So it's.
So you're almost holding an event
Yeah.
at the open house before the open house event starts. I love that.
Yeah.
So Mr. and Mrs. Seller, we have a landscaper giving some ideas of landscaping in this fall seasonality. If you'd like to get some tips on landscaping, come on by. He'll be doing a 20-minute presentation at 10:20. We're gonna have some mimosas and everything else out there, make it a day. And then 11 o'clock, be like, event is done, open house begins. Love that. Never heard of that, I like it.
I haven't done it, heard of it, but yeah. You just have to get your.
Well, and again, I think the gap right here is we don't know what to say. We don't actually have something of substance. I don't want to call my database, I don't want to bother them. It's because you have nothing important to say.
Right.
If you keep calling them with nothing important, yeah, you're going to bother them. But if you can invite your database to really cool events or value or stuff that's important to them. All right, can I erase the scribble? We kind of haven't gotten, we have this a little bit, and it's going to be organic. Do you guys feel now you have at least the foundational brainstorm to go say, what do I have to change here, or probably do some more of these to change here to get me to here?
And just do more and do it at a higher level. Instead of 2 open houses a month, do 4. Door knock 100 instead of 50.
It is that easy
Yeah.
to say if I want to lose weight faster than I'm doing, eat less and run more.
Yeah.
Right? I will lose weight. That is science.
It's simple, not easy. We say it all the time. That's where it is.
And then is it sustainable? Probably, because there's probably a whole lot of stuff that's not important that we're still doing, and we're ignoring the important stuff. It goes back to the 80-20 principle. So one of the questions, how do we get this touch? So you and I mentioned, I think it was, I don't know when it was, via text or last night, of, she thought, could I get my sphere on board with my goals by saying I will give a piece of something to a charity of your choice? What do you guys think of that? I'm kind of going, because all you've done there, by the way, is created this. Why is this important? So you can have a charity of your choice.
I say, why not?
Mandy, you did something like that on Facebook. Like a certain amount of people, if they shared your video.
You did.
Or liked
Was
it.
it Valentine's Day or
It was for
something
like
like that?
KW Cares.
Yep.
Yep.
I think.
So every time they liked the post, I would donate $1 to KW Cares, or if they loved it or shared it, I donated $10.
Okay. Debbie, you did that too when you came over.
Yeah, when I came over, did an announcement on Facebook and said for every like, it was a certain amount, for every share, it was a certain amount, for every comment, it was a certain amount, and I picked the 2 charities. And they both got like checks for about $400 each.
Wow, nice.
It's good.
So I've got a hunch, and it's not right or wrong, so I'm okay with the open debate. Do you have a charity you're passionate about supporting?
Do I?
Yep.
I do.
What is it?
It's the veterans.
Veterans. Patrick?
It's the same. Veterans.
Jason?
You know.
That was a brainer.
Steph?
Yeah, my pregnancy center I used to work for.
Okay. Deb?
I would say animal rescue.
Angie?
I don't know if I have one specific.
Mandy?
I'm the same, I don't.
I'm a veteran, so veterans and animals as well.
St. Jude.
St. Jude.
And I have the 2 wounded warriors,
Okay.
and then I have Regina's, which hers goes as foundation.
Okay.
I prefer direct touch.
Brittany?
DPIG, brain tumor
Okay.
organization.
Ed?
Besides, my kids' college foundation.
So my thought is that if you were to go around and ask, someone could go, huh, yeah, that sounds good. And I'm curious, and you have to answer it, how many of you are like passionate and you're already giving at a pretty consistent high level? And so I think what you're asking is saying, I will donate it to your why, but with half, I would say, wouldn't have that like driving, I am passionate about it. I know the CEO of this local foundation that I support, and I'm over there once. It's kind of like, yeah, sounds like a good cause. I'm on board, right? And so my feedback was, if you can get passionate about something, and if you can share what you're talking about, and St. Jude's, and why that's so passionate to you, Ted, and why everything is just so passionate about what it is, I think I would be more likely to help you fulfill your passion, because I don't have that like deep I want to save puppies and whales and everything, right? I haven't been touched by something that's really pulling my heart, right? We look at Stacy of the Kawasaki disease.
Right.
That's a
correct.
big why,
Yeah.
and it's bigger than what I've got because I have not been impacted to that level. I'd be more likely to give her a check to help her fill her big why than for me to go out of my way to be like, all right, now that I got it, who do I want to give it to? Does that make sense?
So basically tap into their compassion and say, do X, Y, and Z, and I will give
They want to
X
help
amount.
you hit your goal.
Yeah,
Right.
and I'll do X amount to a charity of your choice.
Hi team, here's what I'd like to do by the end of the year. I would like to give blank amount of money to this organization, and here's why. This is why this is near and dear to my heart. Bop, 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 bop. What I'm doing right now is asking if you can help me achieve that goal. Here's how you can do it. Right? I think it's a lot more mission purposeful driven than give me money and I'll give you some money back so you can go share it. That's kind of what we're saying otherwise.
That's just like GoFundMe. People donate to random trending
Oh, yeah. all
the
the
charity,
time.
people needing help all the time
Right.
Yeah.
because they're trending.
So that was my thought. Let's chew on that a little bit.
Well, what is the actual goal? For someone to refer you more business? Is that what we're trying to do?
Strategic giving. Strategic giving says the more money you guys earn, the more money you give. And if you give X number of dollars for every closing, regardless of where it comes from, to support your cause, then the more closings you have, the more money that cause gets.
Hey, Craig.
Yes.
What I would say, so that would work, right? And if you did it, that's great. What I would say is, as the closings are coming through, hold up a sign and say, this how much is going to the pot. Every time you have a closing, they see it. Now they're like, oh wow, okay, then towards it.
And I'm getting a visual of the actual check being written. Here it is,
At the end.
here's the envelope with the stamp, the check is going into a video.
At
have
the
a
end of
picture.
it or something,
Yeah.
okay, whatever, but they kind of like.
But every time,
Just like we've been doing at team meetings for the last 3 months, one more to do.
that's what I'm saying, every time, here's the check.
Sign, a big sign.
Because I would say,
And tell the story. 'Cause
Yeah.
what does GoFundMe always have?
Story.
We are raising this much money. Here is our goal. Help us achieve the goal for this story, right? Now, this is strategic giving, so I'm not saying go get fake as a means to it.
Right.
If you have something that is deep and dear to you, then tell the world about it and have them help you get there. So when we were raising money for Hurricane Irma last year, Harvey, excuse me, I think it was $2,500,
Yeah.
and it was $500 per pie, right? You remember that?
I still owe Rich a pie.
I still smell the
Lori
pie.
still has it.
So we had 2 pies coming. He'll be here at 8:11.
Oh, really?
So it'll be fun.
Do we have
If he's
any
watching, then we
things?
just ousted it. And I remember we were short by about $500 or $600. And Stacey Brown is sitting in that hallway, and she's how much are you short? I was like $678. She goes, done. I got it. Because we put it out there, we said, we have a goal, this is the deadline, can you help us get there? And everyone rallied the troops and got there, right? When you did it for Girl Scouts,
Yes.
you started off, like, so that was crazy. $100 worth.
That
I was
was
like,
cookies.
me too.
I've been in the field before and I would have loved cookies.
And by putting a goal out there for a cause that was bigger than us,
yeah.
by just telling people, this is a big deal, can you help me?
We ended up with double what the original amount was, and I was about ready to ball up there because everybody was shooting out these numbers so fast. It was like,
And I really like stuff taken out of our AR bill. I'm sorry, that's very efficient.
yes.
I can write that stuff off, I love it. 6 ways to Sunday. Keep that up.
Yeah.
So I have a thought kind of on the same thread. You could do obviously big and global. Couldn't you get hyper focused with it? Thought being, okay, here's my thing. I said animal rescue. Animals, the whole animal plight is important to me. And when I was outdoor knocking last weekend last week around my open house, I was thinking to myself, my God, I swear every other door I was greeted by dogs. So why couldn't you go back into that neighborhood with a hyper focus of any and all, contacts from here, referrals from this neighborhood, contribution to, because clearly that neighborhood loves their animals.
And I'm gonna go deeper,
Yeah.
all right? Emotion makes you act. Think of these, I don't even know who the actors and actresses are now, but
Oh, my
when it said adopt a child, right?
Oh, yeah.
Adopt a pet
Mm-hmm.
for just 10 cents
Oh,
a
no.
month.
Mm-hmm.
Change
Sarah
the channel.
McLaughlin plays. And you have to look in these puppies' eyes and tell them no.
Oh,
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
As opposed to, here's a really cool organization to help puppies. So what is the mission, right? Maybe you go to that organization and you say, what specifically can I do that would impact you guys right now? How can we help, right? And you can say, these are 3 puppies right now that they need surgery. They don't have it, and it's going to do. And it's going to be at $3,000 to get these 3 puppies surgery. Otherwise, they're going to go. There it is.
Yeah.
Go get a picture of those puppies and say, we're looking to get $3,000 for these puppies. If you gave them $3,000, what would they do with it? Maybe that anyway.
Yeah.
So all you just did was you said, what do you need?
Yeah.
Instead of why do you need it? So find out exactly why. Because now that's deeper. You just went to the UCF crew
Yes.
and you said, what do you need and why do you need it? What do you need? How much is it going to cost? Why do you need it? That's the story you tell.
Like when all those shelters were flooded with animals after the storms. all of a sudden they had hundreds and hundreds of animals.
Tell that story.
That story.
So,
I got you. All right, Nick.
I've got
tell me.
feelings all about this, because I've spent a lot of my adult career as a nonprofit manager.
Okay.
Um,
And this is, I'm not,
No, I
excited.
just
This
have a
is-
disconnect. If you give me more business, I'll give them some money. Unless it's whatever charity, it doesn't matter. But from a nonprofit's point of view, I would look at it totally different.
Okay.
Okay.
I would be an ambassador of whatever your passion is. Disseminate that information and finding those who are like-minded, inviting them into your database, and facilitating the relationship before it's helped me grow my business. I'm gonna do more. You'll be more in touch with the nonprofit, you'll have a high likelihood of their cooperation, and then you're actually putting the passion before business.
So we're on the right track, just not necessarily the
I would
right
make it a
path.
two-step, I would
Cart the
have,
horse.
Yeah.
utilize a nonprofit for database additions.
Yeah.
And then be an ambassador for it, that's a little more genuine.
Gene Rivers it was around this, because Gary Keller for 3 or 4 years has been saying, go start your own philanthropy, go start your own 501(c), right? If these teams that are doing massive business, go have your own charity and go support something that's near and dear to your heart. So similar to going, I am going to give the shelter $5,000 with or without your help. If you help me, it'll help me help them. This is going to happen.
Yeah.
Now help me
Be
recoup
part
that.
of it.
And
right?
help me get involved.
Not tit for tat, but like if you don't do it, I'm not getting it to you.
Yeah.
Right? It's a little bit different there. And it is a little bit that help me help you sort of thing. Rick Brown talked about this in his listing strategies, and he'll go, and he learned this because he is a band dad. His kids are in band, and he's on the band board, and everything band. And so he'll go, and someone's collecting money outside of Publix in their football helmet so they can go pay for the travel. And so instead of going, here's $3, he's saying, what are you fundraising for?
Yeah.
How much do you need? Why do you need it? So you need $500. Okay, tell you what, if you can help me, I'll write you the check. And then he just builds a database, and all of a sudden, like, they stop the car wash and start cranking the phones out. And there's leads right then and there, right? But what he did, instead of going, this is a what, he got on board of helping their cause. So I hear you saying wholeheartedly of, it can't be fake. So when you say disingenuine, if you're going to be like, that's the one that'll make most people emotional, I'm gonna go use that one. It's disingenuine. If you're there and it is truly what you're passionate about, because you were a veteran, right? Then it's likely gonna have more impact on you, and it's gonna come off way more genuine of going, on a regular basis, we do this. I would love for your support to help me do that. Is that?
Well, yeah, and so it's not about writing a check. It's about cooperating with a nonprofit to grow your database as well as theirs and reach others. So you can say, I would love to donate this much, and any nonprofit would love that. If you get deep into it and help facilitate like an ambassador, you'll have 5 or 6 different streams of revenue from it.
It's kind of what we do with Red Day. We met with the CEOs, the directors. They said, what do you need? How much? Why is that important? And the Girl Scout camp was the one who needed the most manual labor. The others, like, I don't need manual labor. I need money, right? And then I imagine you've been in dialogue with the Girl Scout camp at a pretty high level.
Yes.
They are probably now deep in your database and allied resources and everything else.
Well, they're deep in the KW database, actually.
And their win is not the activity of getting houses painted. Their win is a few hundred individuals now understand their
Aware.
mission.
The exposure.
That's the win.
Yeah, that's
It's not
the win.
the check, it's the information.
Right.
So if you truly want to support a nonprofit, you get deep with their mission and share that with others. That's
it.
their win.
I love it.
Right.
Yeah,
And what they got, by the
Be,
way,
Makes sense.
was-
be their ambassador.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so last week we talked about this thing. And who's your core advocates, right?
Yes. Be a core advocate.
How many people would put you in this circle?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question to ask yourself. If you have 6, would those 6 reciprocate it? Are you in somebody's, they're not in yours? Is that a conversation? Are they in yours, you're not in theirs? Is that a conversation? 2 or 3 years ago, we were in career visioning, might have been Recruit Select back then, which is when and how to hire. And I remember Seth Campbell was teaching this one. He's, love you, Seth. Go Lions. Yes, I'll give him red. And he said you got to build your bench. And so, what does that mean when he says you got to build your bench? More than that.
Candidates.
Your candidates, right? So baseball, kind of in the heart of baseball, we're going to the playoffs here pretty soon. Center fielder goes down. They go, oh, you can only play with 8 people now. What do?
Grab another one.
You're off the bench, you're in, right? And then it's a season-ending injury, and all 3 of the center fielders did it. Oh no, we can't finish the season now. All of them are hurt. What do? Go to the minor leagues, pull them up, right? They are never without. They've always got talent ready to go in. So he said this about your organization, who's on your bench. And so even when you're not hiring, you should be scouting for talent. Because even though you can't play center field for the Cubs right now, I want you to be in our farm league because one day we might need you. And people make professional living playing minor league ball, which is a struggle. They do it for the opportunity to one day be there, right? So his question was, who's on your bench? Similar to what we just talked about, I flipped it, of going, whose bench am I on? Who, if they needed a player, would I be their first phone call? Whose bench do I want to be on? And so I started looking and going, am I on his bench? I want to be on his bench. How do I get on his bench? And then I have more purposeful conversations.
Can I just add that too? Because, who was it? Morris, Deborah Morris. She's the queen of defending her bench because I sold a house for someone who was on the crew team. And her first question was, how are you hiring someone outside of the crew family? And I was like, so impressed, like, defend your bench. She didn't know that it was my database.
Okay.
So I had the dance bench before the crew bench came around. But I was super impressed.
Bench, B-E-N-C-H. Clarity.
But I think she did an excellent job of knowing where her database was and was surprised. Diane Sterling does the exact same thing. If I will have one of her customers, she'll pick up the phone and say, how did you get this business and did I fall down somewhere in it? Can you find out for me?
She asked you.
She asked me?
You have a comment question?
Deborah actually commented on it just now when you said it. She said, sorry, I missed most of this. I like knowing that others can depend on me to refer business to them.
Yeah.
About her
So they both called you and kind of go, I need intel. I'm not mad at you, I'm mad at me.
Yes, where did I drop the ball?
Where did I drop the ball?
Yeah.
And then you could also have that, if your relationship's strong enough with that person, not from a place of, how dare you not use me, from going, I am so glad you had an amazing experience, so I can get better. Who do I need to become so next time I'm your first call?
And then say thank you.
And I think we probably all have that experience.
Yeah. How many times have you ever had their neighbor list with somebody else not
Yep.
named you?
Yep.
And how many times have you knocked on that neighbor's door
Or a friend.
and asked why? Or who you could have done, who you could have been differently? So I think a lot of us go, oh, that stings. Moving on.
Yep.
You're dead to me.
I just had
Not, ooh, that
experience-
stings. I'm going to go learn from this.
Yep. I just had that experience last week.
And so now you have an action plan.
Well, yeah. I actually went on a listing appointment, somebody from high school. And I went to follow up and, well, it's on the market. And I pulled it up to see who it was and I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
When I interview agents and they're interviewing multiple brokerages and they choose another brokerage, I go, fantastic. I am so glad you found
Right.
what you see as a fit and I hope you're right. I'm curious, what about them made a better fit for you than us?
Right.
Like where did we miss? Where did we disconnect? Because I thought we were in a good fit. You thought otherwise. And then I get intel and majority of the time what they're saying we have as well. I didn't convey it very well.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not going to go back. And we have that too. I was like, that's on me to be a better needs analysis to understand what is important. And then I just say, I hope it works out. And if it doesn't, I'd love to be your first call. And people have joined us off going, you told me to be the first call, and it is, and we're there. So when you have that friend or that neighbor or that database, pick up the phone, not to go, how dare you, to I want to learn from this. Thank you for doing it. I'm so excited. You're with Joe Schmo. No matter who they're with, they chose that person, so they believe it's the best person. So celebrate that. Learn from it of, what did Joe Schmo do to earn that business? I would like to learn what I could have done differently.
Well, I had a, go ahead.
So I have a mentality around not getting the listing because there's still half the commission up for sale. There's nothing that stops you from lead generating around that listing and getting a buyer. That's the best revenge. All right, now I'm gonna show up with a buyer. You would have netted more if you'd selected me first.
That's careful, because Joe Schmo's still good. They netted a lot with Joe Schmo.
Oh, these are my personal thoughts. Don't
Okay.
go back on their door.
You don't say that.
No one's allowed in the evil brain.
It's like, careful. Don't smudge their face in it.
But I'll take that commission. I don't have to pay for commission.
Yeah. All right, it is 8:58, so that's a wrapping up. Did we answer a little bit of what you were looking for, Mandy?
Kind of, sort of.
She's saying no, she's going, I'll be polite.
I know.
Okay.
No, overnight today, we can go overnight.
We have luxury caravan starting. Yeah. At the end of the day, the video is a means. Call it a video, call it a pigeon with a thing, call it an airplane with a banner. It's a means to get the message out, right?
An activity.
Which is marketing. So we can agree that this is just, some people hate video, some people love video. I'm a video guy, some people are like, I don't want video. So this is just a means to the message. The influential touch is gonna start with, what does it mean? Why are you passionate about it?
Are you offering something of value?
Why should they choose you? How is that important to you? It might be of going, I've got a personal mission and I'm gonna have the best year ever. To do that, I need to close 15 deals by the end of the year. And I'm asking for your help right now because by doing that, it'll be the best year ever and it'll be amazing. Like that's the why. Or by doing that, I'm gonna take my family on a Disney cruise I've never been before. And these are my 3 boys. One of them love a Disney cruise. Help us get there, please. 15 deals. People will rally around that.
Yeah.
If you're truly, and all you have to do is just share, this is my vision, this is where I want to go, this is my mission, this is why it's important to me.
Just pick up the phone and call them. Don't rely on a video solely. Have the conversation. I feel like more and more conversations are becoming passive, and then people wondering why they don't get results. And it's like an accumulation of a few different modes of communication. I mean, I'm in the market for a TV. I've been on the website. I've done a bunch of stuff. I won't get it for the next 3 days. But boy, everyone's reaching out to me about a TV. And I think we'll do a video or we'll do a text and picking up the phone.
You do both.
Do it all. Did you see my video? Did you get my text?
That's it. When you send it, when someone shares and likes and comments and raised $400, are you picking up the phone saying, thank you for commenting, sharing, and liking? You didn't have to do that and you did. I appreciate you. Conversation, right? If someone's opening a video, are you finding out who? Every time someone comments on one of your open house videos or posts, pick up the phone because they went out of their way to say, I support you. That's huge. Of these, which is phone call, event, face-to-face is the conversation that gets the conversion. This is the one-way information, which is email, direct mail, advertising. So this has to be accompanied with this, which goes back to one of these is going to be the touches. And so if you don't know what to say to your database, it's because you haven't given them, this is a talking point. Did you get my video? Do you have thoughts on it? Open house is a talking point. FSBO is a talking point. Just listed, just little talking points. And then you just go out and pick up the phone. And so Bold teaches us how many conversations a day? 20. How many are sustaining that? I'm not. You probably need 80 attempts to get 20 if you're good, right? So maybe if you are half, because Bold gives us 14 transactions. How many transactions did you and Jeff do in Bold in 9 weeks?
Gosh, so we had a good Bold. I think we did 12.
So, and you guys did your weekly 100.
Yeah.
So the team was doing 40 contacts a day, and in 8 weeks you put 12 under contract at 8,000 apiece.
Yeah, I think we netted 80 grand in that Bold.
That's amazing.
80 grand, and if you did 200 a week for 8 weeks, that was 1,600 conversations to net 80 grand.
You netted 80? Yeah. That's amazing.
She grossed over 100,
Jeez.
Yeah,
right?
but you're looking at my numbers for me,
I got you.
Well, that's math. That works.
Because she did this.
Yeah.
If you think about 40 per day, how many are doing 40 in a week? How many are doing 40 in a month? I can tell you not a lot because the average realtor closes 5 a year.
I think
All right.
we were
I have ahas from
overlying
online.
never-ending referrals too, so that really.
Which is the move. So let's,
Yeah.
let's rejuvenate move. All right, ahas, we have some online and some live. What are the ahas?
Every month is created equal. Create a deep bench. Whose bench are you on? Get or give items of value. Amazing. Who wants to help you too? And the video does not have to be perfect. I hear that more and more every day.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a means to advertising. Perfect. Anything else from you guys that this is, okay, this was good. Ted, thanks for coming.
Great info.
You get free coffee at least. Right?
Tea.
Hot tea, okay, that's good.
Thank you.
Good. All right, so I believe the action plans could be, if you're passionate about something, go find why and who and attach it to someone's mission statement or create your own mission statement. And more than just save the whales, right? Go find out which whale you're saving. Your 135 going, are you hitting your activities like you need to be? And everyone here likes FSBOs. You just don't like working to go get them. Because the FSBO called you right now and said, I'm tired of for sale by owning, where you list with me, you would be smitten. You would love FSBOs on that day.
It's the whole cold.
So don't confuse yourself.
You narrowed it down. It's
Yeah,
the cold.
it's the cold.
Yeah.
So you don't like the work to go make them warm.
The activity.
Who likes, my wife hates cold pizza. Guess what she has to do? She has to put it in the microwave. She has to work to make it hot. She does not want to put it in the microwave. She has to eat cold pizza.
Right.
Go work to make it hot. Good?
Thank you.
Cool.
Next week I'm in mega camp, so we'll not have it next week.
Woo-hoo.
Yay!
And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
That was Mega Camp Woohoo, that wasn't a.
Mega
not-
Camp
that
Woohoo.
wasn't a- That wasn't a not you woohoo.
Not me. All right, thanks guys.
Thanks, Rick.